ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Eisenhower Eagle Football Review. I'm Tim Meyer with Coach Chris Smith. And Coach, tough loss tonight against the Dakota Cougars, but it wasn't a loss where you felt your team was beat. You felt like probably, your team could have easily have won this game.
Right, we could have easily won this game. We had a lot of turnovers, drove the ball on them and threw a pick right on the goal line, and they went, 97 yards for a touchdown early in the game, and then, we drove into the red zone again and fumbled again. So, I thought we had them on the ropes, and, we can't make those mistakes. I thought offensively, though, we really had them off balance.
Well, the story for them seemed to be big plays. They got big plays, and that's how they scored.
Well, they got big playmakers. Big playmakers are going to make big plays. And they're going to get those big plays. The key for us is, we limited what they usually get in their big plays, and I thought our defensive backs did a great job. And, and being, rushing the ball like we did and running the ball like we did, we were able to control the ball on the offense and keep the ball out of their hands. So.
Well, you got the ball back with 5 minutes left to play, down by a touchdown, and guys were moving it, and you got into the Dakota up to their 31-yard line, and the fourth down play, Jake had been running pretty tough all night and decided to take that one himself. If you had that one back, would you change the call on that?
No, I wouldn't change the call on it. Jake, he was tough for us all night. He got big yards, got big first downs for us all night. And that was the call that all the coaches believed would work, and we put it in the hands of Jake, and I trust Jake 100%, and I'd put it in his hands again if we had the opportunity.
And you did get some good runs from all your running backs. Like Kadari Johnson had a nice run on a screen play and a couple of nice pitch runs, and then you also got some good runs from your big fullbacks, Sherry and Metz.
Right, like I said, this offense is starting to click. It did last week, and it just, against Dakota, who has a great defense, I thought the offense really started to click today, and the coaches did a great job of game planning for it, and the kids did a great job executing. Executing the game plan. The problem is you can't turn the ball over in a championship type game like this.
Talk a little bit about the situation of the team now. You guys are facing a situation where you're going to have to win most of the majority of your games on the way out. What's the mentality you want to instill with this football team?
No, it doesn't matter if we were undefeated or if we hadn't won a game. It was going to be the same mentality. You go to the next game. There's no sense of looking ahead to another game. I've always preached you go to the next game and you play the next game. It doesn't matter who the opponent is, what your record is, what their record is. You got to prepare for them, and you got to have the kids ready to play the game, and you got to go out there and play it.
Well, speaking of the next game, you got Grosse Pointe South at home next week. A little bit about them.
They're a good football team.
Are they better than North?
I don't know. They're playing tonight, so they play each other tonight. It's going to be a tough. They're a tough football team. They got a good coach over there. They got a great quarterback. They got a quarterback receiver twin brother duel, and they're both 3-year players on their varsity. So it's going to be a tough game, and they got a great record right now. Last year they took us right to the wire. They could have won the game last year against us. We came out of there with a win, but it was a lucky win for us.
Well, I want you to go. I know you got to go because you got to go put the ice in the tub so Jake Bradshaw could just soak his whole body, because the young man really did a fantastic job for you tonight.
Right, he was tough.
Okay, Coach, good luck next week. Let's bring back a win.
All right, thank you.
Right. Our defensive player of the game is Logan Friedel. And Logan, these guys were tough. He came in highly ranked, but you guys kind of shut them down on offense except for a couple big plays.
Yeah, I thought our defense played great. I think our whole team played great. We easily have one of the toughest quarterbacks in the MAC Red, if not the state. Bradshaw gave it all tonight, and I couldn't be more happier with his playing.
That first touchdown that Dakota got looked like that was maybe an error in the secondary part. What happened on that play?
A little mixed up calls, but other than that, we knew that our secondary needed to step up today, and for the most part they did. It was just that one play, but everyone's going to make errors. So.
They got a couple big runs, but for the most part, you guys shut them down up front, despite what looked like to everybody on the sidelines, all the holding that was going on.
Yeah, I'm not really going to talk about much of that, but our defensive line played great, I thought. I do. I think our whole defense played great, as always.
I think you guys want another shot at these guys.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're going to get another shot at these guys.
Well, next week you got Grosse Pointe South. You got a few guys that were a little banged up here, but hopefully they'll be back. Tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are about next week.
You know, next week we're going to come out mad. We're going to come out mad and play as hard as we can, and that's it. We're just going to come out, play hard.
Well, I know you want to say hello to some folks out there, so go ahead.
Hi to my mom and dad and all my sisters.
Eisenhower's offensive star of the game, Jake Bradshaw. Jake, 95 yards on the ground, 120 yards passing. How you feel right now?
I mean, I feel a little beat up. It was a dogfight, but you know, there's no better game than this, and the competitiveness was there, and it was amazing to play. I'm so blessed to be part of such a great team, and you know, play a great team. And I think we did a great job moving the ball. Just turnovers just killed us, and you know.
We'll talk about some of those runs you had. Now, there's some times where you could have let the running back have the football, but what did you see out there when you had some of your big runs?
Well, you know, teams are different, and we always, you know, we read that end, and they either crash down or they come upfield. And this team, you know, they take that running back away, so I knew I had to do it myself. And I felt like, you know, our running back still did a great job. You know, Joe Metz runs so hard, and Sherry runs so hard, and I think, you know, we can beat this team. You know, they're a great team, but they're not unbeatable, and I think we'll see them again in the playoffs.
Talk a little bit about, you know, the two-point conversion. Got a little exciting there. We hit the extra point, but then they got a penalty on them. And did you know you're just going to take it yourself?
Well, I didn't even know that we got a penalty. I mean, I went and sat on the bench because I was, you know, tired, and they like offense go in. We ran a, you know, run play around the left, and the end came in, so I knew I was going to have to keep it. And I saw a hole, and there's no way I wasn't getting to that line.
Not a lot of passing tonight for Eisenhower, but that's the offense that you run. But you did hit a nice pass to Andrew Sikowski. Talk a little bit about that play.
Well, we knew that was going to be open because, you know, that was probably one of our first passes the whole game. So they were, you know, reading run, and yeah, it was a great route by him. He broke it off like a post, exactly like he's supposed to do, and he was open, and we hit it, and it was a great play for us. Kept us in the game.
As quarterback of this team, you got to go back at it again next week against Grosse Pointe South. Tell us a little bit about how you guys are going to prepare for that.
Well, you know, we're sad right now. We just lost, you know, but we're gonna pick back up again. We still got a chance to make the playoffs. You know, take on Dakota again, hit them in the mouth, and you know, keep playing hard, and you know, maybe make a run at this in the playoffs. So everything's negative right now, but we'll pick back up.
Well, it's not the first time a 3-loss Eisenhower team went to the Silverdome or the state finals, and you asked Coach DeGiorgio about that.
Yeah, I think this team has the talent to do it. I think we're finally starting to come together. We just took on a great team. We ran the ball. You know, our offense moved on them. Turnovers killed us, but you know, we can do it, and our team knows that.
I know you want to say hello to some folks out there, so go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my mom and dad, my grandma and grandpa for coming out and supporting me.
Leading the offensive line search for the Eisenhower Eagles, Tony Angeli. And Tony, you know, everybody talks about Big Bad Dakota, but you guys seem to move them off the ball pretty well.
Honestly, I felt like we came in here as a better offensive line than they are as a defensive line. I felt like we moved the ball easily. As you guys could see, we were pushing down the field easily. Stupid things happened, like a couple turnovers, interception, but I felt like we got back right at it, kept pushing. We fought hard throughout the whole game, so I thought we should have got it, but well-played game by everybody.
Tell me a little bit about Eisenhower's attack. You know, you guys weren't throwing the ball much, and you had to run a lot. How does that affect you as an offensive lineman?
Honestly, it's a little bit more work as far as the run game goes, but I'd be happy to do it if it's going to work and we're going to make yards out of it. I'd be happy to push it down the field for them. So I thought, yeah, the offensive line played great today.
Kadari Johnson had a nice long run on a screen pass. Tell us how that play got set up.
Coach called the screen pass out. We had our linemen drop back perfectly. Let the guys go, and Kadari's seen some field with some white jerseys on today, and he just got down there, and it was a good play by him. Very good play.
Tell us the mood of this team right now.
The mood of the team is it's not dissatisfied. It's not happy for sure, but I feel like we knew that we could have got them. We could have been the better team. So I feel like we're in there. You know what I'm saying? We're in there, but we're
Still hungry?
Yeah, we're still hungry. We still want them. Hopefully, we can get them again for the playoffs.
All right, Tony, I know you want to say hello to some folks out there, so go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to say hi to my mother and father and my grandparents. Thank you for all supporting me.
We'll be back with game highlights right after this.
Hi, my name is Doug Wozniak. I'm a licensed Michigan attorney, but I'm also licensed as a Michigan real estate broker. If you have any questions concerning real estate, particularly new building construction, easements, boundary disputes, anything at all, please give me a call, 586-781-9190.
Esplendido Mexican Cuisine. Esplendido serves time-tested and taste bud-approved Mexican cuisine that's often copied but never duplicated. Of course, you can still get that famous Esplendido pizza. Dine in or carry out. Almost 30 years of serving great meals to good friends. Esplendido. Good food, spirits, and celebration. Call 586-739-1070.
Thought there was no better way to do that than to put on the striped shirt and pick up a whistle and stop complaining about the officials and go do something about it.
And there was guys that were nice enough to do it and volunteer their time when I was a kid coming through school, so I'm just paying it forward.
Initially, I got into officiating because I was a coach and I wanted to learn more about our sport. Now I officiate because I want to make a difference.
You can be a referee.
The Eisenhower Eagles traveled to Dakota for their annual matchup with the rival Cougars. Everybody was preparing for a hard-hitting affair. To start the game, Dakota got the ball first and ran right at Eisenhower's defense. Logan Friedel made this play. He would have a strong game all night. Number 3, Benji Marshall of Dakota got behind Eisenhower's secondary, and Maurice Moon found him for 6. The extra point was missed, and the Cougars led 6-0. Ike's number 14 quarterback Jake Bradsher would take the ball 16 yards on Eisenhower's first play. Eisenhower's Kadari Johnson gets this pitch and goes 16 yards to the Dakota 20. The tide would turn for Eisenhower on this 92-yard interception return for a touchdown by Dakota's number 9, Ambro Dimitri. The Cougars go for 2 and make it. The score now was 14-0 Dakota. Eisenhower's next drive went nowhere. The Eagles, however, stopped Dakota on their next drive with a sack by number 53 Jake Corey. The Cougars would attempt a 47-yard field goal. It was no good, wide left, and Ike took over the football. The Eagles' Jake Bradsher gets this Eagle drive going with a 23-yard run for an Ike first down. Then it's Kadari Johnson for another 10 yards on this pitch. When Dakota got the ball back, number 4 Carlton Kaiser gets loose for 55 yards, finally tackled by number 59 Mark Sokowski, but Sokowski is called for a personal foul penalty, giving the Dakota Cougars more yardage deep into Eisenhower territory. This bad snap by Dakota is recovered by Eisenhower's Jake Corey, and it's 1st and 10 Eagles. Despite this fine run by Kadari Johnson, Ike would be forced to punt. Ike's defense continued to punish the Dakota ball carriers. Ike's Jack Preventer almost picks this tip pass off. The Cougars were called for holding on the play. This Dakota screen goes nowhere, but the Cougars are called for holding again. Carlton Kaiser is stopped way short of the first down, and Dakota was forced to punt. Jake Bratcher rolls out of the pocket and finds number 27 Andrew Sukowski, who fights his way down to the Dakota 6. The Eagles give the ball to number 39 Joe Metz, and they let Joe do it. As he scores the Eagle touchdown, the extra point was no good. Dakota led 14-6. The score would be 14-6 at halftime. Ike would get the ball first in the second half. Jake Bratcher hits Nick Ribbing for 8 yards on this play. Then Bratcher would keep it himself and go 12 yards on this play. Jake Bratcher is nailed on this play and coughs up the football. Dakota recovers, and it's 1st and 10 Cougars. Andrew Sukowski almost comes up with this big turnover. The Eagles stop Dakota on 3rd down and force them to punt. On the next drive, the Eagles would go to their fullbacks. First, Joe Metz. Then number 22, Chad Sherry. Ike's fullbacks would combine for 44 yards on 2 straight plays. Dakota's defense stiffens. The Eagles go for it on 4th and 20, and this Bratcher pass was incomplete. Ike's defense, led by Jake Corey, would break up this Dakota pass, forcing the Cougars to punt. The Eagles go to Joe Metz again, and he starts churning out the yardage. However, the Eagles would fumble. Dakota recovers to stop Eisenhower's drive. Andrew Sukowski is called for pass interference on this play, giving the ball 1st and 10 to the Dakota Cougars deep in Eisenhower territory. Moving into the 4th quarter, the Cougars would capitalize on the Eagle turnover with this 28-yard touchdown run by number 4, Carlton Kaiser. The extra point was good, and Dakota now led 21-6. The Eagles did not quit. Kadari Johnson takes this screen pass 63 yards to the Cougar 2. Quarterback Jake Bratcher takes it in from the 2, and it's an Eagle touchdown. The extra point was good, but Dakota was called for offside. The Eagles' offense came back on the field, and Jake Bratcher gets the 2-point conversion, cutting the Dakota lead to 21-14. The Cougars drove the ball to the Eagle 25. On 3rd down, Dakota has a bad snap. They're forced to kick a field goal. With just under 6 minutes left to play in the game, the kick is no good. Ike starts their next drive from their own 20. Jake Bratcher leads the way and gets a 1st down. Number 2, Brandon Metcalf, takes this pitch for 14 yards. Dakota's number 56, Antonio Belbani, is called for a personal foul penalty, moving the ball deeper into Dakota territory. Then number 39, Joe Metz, would get 8 yards on this play. On 4th and 1, Ike goes for it, and Jake Bratcher is stopped short of the 1st down. And that was all she wrote for another Eisenhower Dakota Classic. The final score, the Dakota Cougars 21, the Eisenhower Eagles 14.
Tim Meyer will be right back with our special feature after this.
Hi, my name is Doug Wozniak. I'm a licensed Michigan attorney, but I'm also licensed as a Michigan real estate broker. If you have any questions, concerning real estate, particularly new building construction, easements, boundary disputes, anything at all, please give me a call, 586-781-9190.
Esplendido Mexican Cuisine. Esplendido serves time-tested and taste bud-approved Mexican cuisine that's often copied but never duplicated. Of course, you can still get that famous Esplendido pizza. Dine in or carry out. Almost 30 years of serving great meals to good friends. Esplendido. Good food, spirits, and celebration. Call 586-739-1070.
A high school football game night is a unique experience, uniting a community in so many ways and showcasing other school activities. This grand setting helps kids learn life skills and build lifetime relationships in the safest environment ever, where teacher coaches, equipment, rules, and safety protocols minimize risks. It's a true celebration of participation. Support your local school and its young people who enjoy this privilege.
One of the greatest athletes ever to play football at Eisenhower High School was number 22, Scott Debs. Scott was a quarterback, defensive back, and kick returner for the Eisenhower Eagles in the early and mid-90s. He completed 130 passes and 222 attempts, which ranks him among the top of all the Eisenhower quarterbacks. Scott Debs had over 376 yard rushing, and he scored 11 touchdowns. Scott also threw 19 touchdown passes. No one played bigger in the big games than the 6'1", 180-pound quarterback, running back, and kick returner. Look at these moves. And he could receive the football as well. Here, he beats the Denby defensive backs for a touchdown. Scott was a player you could not scare away from the football, would not shy away from the big hit, and he would not be hesitant to give it out. Scott was also a prolific kick returner, as you'll see here. On defense, Scott played defensive back, and he'd run you down and tackle you. He'd try to get outside. He was pretty good at breaking up passes, too. Had 140 tackles in his career. Eisenhower's number 22, Scott Debs.
Well, folks, the Eisenhower Eagles came here to Dakota Stadium and lost a heartbreaker to the Dakota Cougars, partially because they turned the ball over, and Dakota had 3 big plays of their own to score touchdowns. The Eagles were in this game all the way, had a chance to win it. Your heart's got to go out to Jake Bradshaw for his toughness, and the entire defense and offensive line for their toughness as well. Defense really limited the big plays Dakota had. Eisenhower scoring with Jake Bradshaw running the football. Did a great job tonight. Next week, Grosse Pointe South at Marnie Swinehart. Hope to see you out there. For Coach Chris Smith, I'm Tim Meyer saying we'll see you next time right here on the Eisenhower Eagle Football Review.